Good morning, good morning, and welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Eitai, and we are live and streaming to you from Lagos, Nigeria, to West Africa, to the entire world. And of course, we're always excited to have you connect with us, join us every time. If this is your first time, do let us know. We have what we call the bell lesson. We ring the bell of blessing for all our first timers, and of course, do not hesitate to join in the conversation. Don't stop there. If you have questions, please do let us know the questions that you have. Share with us today, so we'll learn together, we'll grow together, and we become together. And we always have our fantastic experts and analysts always ready to share their views from different perspectives to make sure that we have a comprehensive understanding of the conversation of the day. And of course, we we always welcome your views, we always welcome your comments, and of course, do not hesitate. And please always remember, follow our experts and analysts. They have fantastic platforms. They are on YouTube, they're on Facebook, they're on Instagram, they're everywhere. And in fact, whatever the platform, you meet them there. And of course, do like our page or subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our videos to those who are with you, around you, and so that we can get to learn together and get to spread the message. Always a great time on the show, and today promises to be also another great time. It's not going to be an exception. I totally, totally believe. And of course, like I said, without wasting more time, let me bring up Safety Chick in the building. Good morning, Safety Chick. How are you today?
Good morning, sir. I'm fine, thank you. How are you doing too?
I'm good. I love this look. It blends with your glasses, your smile. It's a season's greeting smile, you know. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Thank you, sir. That's all I have to say.
Ah, right. You know, I know. No comment. No comment. Okay, safety chick in the building, looking smashing. You know, anytime safety chick decides to just show her face, whether she's on the road, on the field, or she's in between locations, or she's at home, wherever she is, you know that she's going to dazzle that day. She's going to dazzle and mazzle us with you know. All right, without wasting more time, what we normally do is to look at the headlines and think about news, talk about the news, and from there we go to the conversation of today. Today, our subject matter is taking a step further from what we discussed yesterday about overcoming worrying and anxiety. But today we'll be talking about the resolution about the destination. And of course, as usual, we're going to have fantastic time to dissect the topic, make it as simple as ABC. If you're joining us, welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. And shout out to our faithful loyal tribe members. And for those who watch the replay, shout out to you as well. Thank you all for your views. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for being a part of the Good Morning Education Show. So we will be right back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Good Morning Education Show, and I have the chick in the building, the chick of all chicks, Safety Chick Ugochi Obidego, and we want to review the headlines. Ladies and gentlemen, behold, feedbacks on the headlines.
Okay, so I'll start with the very first one, which was which is the Saudi scholarship. And in fact, Saudi, the UAE has been trending in the news in the past 1 week. It's been trending with the various things that the government is trying to do with, bringing in talent into their country. And obviously, education is one of their means. And, I was still speaking about it with a friend yesterday that that's a really smart, the government is being very smart in the sense that they are making categories available for different kinds of individuals, so that way money flows into the system and then you get the best minds. Now, when you get the best minds into a system and the system uses their talents and skills, makes them feel like you are useful to us and you are making an impact here, why would the person want to go elsewhere? So it's a really smart move. And again, I know that we're having this conversation around should people leave the country, should people not leave the country. Now, if somebody is offering you a scholarship to go and learn, and you can see that this scholarship is going to advance your life's goal, by all means, please take the offer, most especially if you know that you have no extra means of paying for that kind of education. So yes, the scholarship is a great idea, most especially for amazing young people who are really intelligent, but they do not have, they do not really come from privileged backgrounds to, sponsor their education. So that's one. Then the next one is university alumni pleading with ASU to, suspend the protest. Yes, it's a really important call at this time. I know that ASU has told the young people to travel, learn a skill, and have fun. But it's interesting to also know that we have alumni that are speaking to them and say, "Oh, please don't just do that," because we don't want it to be a really long thing. Then there is a misappropriation of funds at Kwara Poly. Interesting. So every time I see the word misappropriation, I remember a conversation we had in this house with my younger one when we were trying to explain how embezzlement and misappropriation happens. Many times people will think, oh, it's because you stole the money. It may not be that you stole the money. It just means you used the money to do something else that the money was not supposed to be used for, and that is misappropriation. So I think that we need to become more diligent with handling funds, most especially in our education system, and most especially because we are saying that we do not even have enough resources coming into the sector. So when the ones that come in, it's in our best interest to use it right so that it achieves the purpose for which it was released in the first place. And then about implementing minimum wage, I'm surprised that is still even a topic at this time, November 2020. It should have already been implemented, and it should already be implemented, so that these teachers can have something tangible to work with. And it's not like the minimum wage is actually the best, but at least it is something to start with. So we shouldn't waste time. It should be implemented as quickly as possible. And I know that it's one thing for us to see in the news that something is about to be implemented. And then it's another to actually see the implementation happen in real time on ground with the beneficiaries and all those sort of stuff. So I'm appealing to everyone involved, please hasten that operation because the year was really hard. So people need money to do the things they need to do.
Fantastic. That's very good and straight to the point. We'll share the links to people on the news, really. And like you said, Saudi's move is just a conscious move. That's what nations invitation of and settlement and migration of people towards the Dubai 2020, for example. There were a lot of people that were encouraged to get some jobs, fantastic jobs, in partnership with the Ministry of Labor, people, young Nigerians taking even some jobs that are not necessarily like white collar jobs, but the pay is high. The structure of engagement is specific, and it was a very good way to take care of yourself, to probably take care of the people depending on you. But then their goal was they wanted people who could speak certain kinds of Nigerian languages, and all those kind of things. So, and that way you find out that when you bring people into your society, you are not just trying to raise income, you are also shaping culture. Most likely, some of these people are going to get married or get settled, bring in their, that kind of thing. It does a lot more than the immediate remote reason for coming. You understand? And that's what a lot of people
Exactly.
are doing. That's where people are, they are futuristic because they are projecting that, look, we don't want to be a haven that is just tourism. And look at what coronavirus is doing. It has made some tourist destination ghost town. And so a lot of people are trying to say, you know what, let's up the game to introduce
Pivoting. Yeah.
lifestyle as part of the game. Let's have some settlement and cross-racial settlement, because um, if all you have is your indigene, it's just like we have it in Nigeria. There are many states that the only time they witness influx of people is festive season, Easter, December, or the major Muslim holidays. And for those people, they're always excited to see cars pass by their road is busy, their market
They'll
is
be greeting
vibrant.
you. It just reminded me
They're
when we
like,
are traveling to
they're
the east. When we used to go with the family, we don't go every year for Christmas in the village. But the very few times we've had to go, and once the cars just drive, everybody will be waving and greeting. They'll be greeting you, and I think it just sort of that excitement that, oh, more people are coming into town. It's going to be interesting and all this. And really, it shouldn't be like that. So I guess.
Yeah, so all those things used to raise the profile of even the average person that sells will feel the impact. Maybe there will be more consumption
Airtime,
of water, there
airtime,
might be more
food,
consumption of
hotel
bread.
accommodation, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, so and we need to realize that, unfortunately, you find out that most people don't even travel home. Most people don't travel home. South, Cross River, and I think Akwa Ibom, and then maybe Port Harcourt. They got that wing of the carnival effect, where people are able to converge and watch the parade, and that thing attracts people not just from other neighboring states across the country.
Across
Sometimes you
across the
have
world.
people travel into Nigeria just because they're
Yes.
coming for the carnival. So there's a
Yes.
lot of economy when people begin to move around, and we must see that as a science. There's a science to it. You must
Yes.
ensure that
I
what
totally agree with this. I totally agree with it because I was actually writing something last week, and this was one of the things I was writing about. It's something I'm putting together, and that is because I remember when I worked in the airline in December, the flight to Calabar, the flight to Uyo, the flight to Port Harcourt are full. And you would see the troops, you could see foreigners were coming in, the carnival troops from other countries that were coming to showcase their skills at the Calabar Carnival. And this is a source of income. When such kinds of events or such kinds of programs are known to happen, it drives economy into that place because everybody would feel it. The person on the street selling recharge card, the person selling art and craft, locally made artifacts, the person making food, the person that has accommodation, whether it's an Airbnb or a proper hotel, like it just spreads through. Everybody feels the sense that yes, somebody came. So it's just like what happens in Rwanda with the gorilla naming ceremony. So everybody will feel the impact, like everybody from the airport to the person on the street will make money out of it. And it's just a great way of putting money, making money flow within a space.
we need to get to that point. I hope and believe that we'll get there. Good morning, TT. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
Good morning, Mrs. Adelsi.
TT, can you hear us? TT, are you there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Now, yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
yes, we can hear you now.
And good morning to Omobola. Omobola is saying good morning, my people. Omobola Olarigbe, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good
Ugochi, you're frozen.
morning. I'm frozen.
Yeah, now you're
Am I
better.
still frozen?
Yeah, welcome to the show. So, Titi disappeared again. Oh my God. All right, so let's head to the conversation of the day. Resolution about the destination. Resolution about the destination. A lot of times when you hear resolution, most times is at the beginning of the year, at the beginning of the year. But today, we're bringing it some weeks ahead. So we're going to be talking about resolution about the destination. Um, was okay. We have Abigail Solomon also here saying good morning, great educators. Thank you, Abigail, for joining. So let's talk about resolution about the destination, and of course, an overview, an introduction of the topic is basically getting people to get stirred up, get signed up, get sold out to the destination, that you are so destination driven that you are not stuck by the vehicle or the medium that takes you to the destination. It's just like, you mentioned something about flight and all those things. Sometimes a lot of people get stuck based on the bias of the medium bias, the vehicle bias. And they don't want to change, they don't want to adjust, they don't want to flip so that they can get to the destination. So sometimes when someone says, you know what, this is what I love to do, or this is what I found to do. However, it's at the expense of the kind of desired destination they're looking at getting to. And because they're so emotional about the current state, the current place, the current task, or the current approach. Sometimes they find it difficult to evolve into new identities, evolve into new ways, because they are not so resolute. They are not setting their face like a flint towards the destination they are looking at getting. And I think that's the same thing that you were trying to go to from the news, where a lot of times and I hope we're able to talk about that today. Even the myth and the concept of relocation, there is a place of resolution, about destination in that kind of concept. So I'm going to ask, why is smiling? Let me come back to Titi. Titi, are you there now? Can you hear us now?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes, we can
can.
hear you.
Loud and clear. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I was saying that I love Safety Chick's lovely hair. Looking
So you see,
awesome.
Thank you. Thank you, ma.
of blessing for that look. It's an O'Shea look. O'Shea compliant.
Sarah to me said it's O'Shea Unlimited.
Rotimi, good morning. Honestly, this is your definition resolution about I don't know what I don't know what you're talking about.
This is a politician. You quickly say you don't know what I'm talking about. When you are the one that will tell us what we are talking about.
So if I break the English down, resolution about, you have the way we was. All of us have not yet reached your level yet.
We're
So
all coming.
we're all behind you. We are coming. We are getting there, but
So let's gamify it. Let's gamify it.
but what I think it's from what you said is about being kind of focused on where you are going to, or on what you want to achieve. Um, and I think that that's important. I think that only those that focused on on their goals or the destination that get there. In life, one of the things that we'll always realize is that you will meet obstacles, uh, roadblocks, maybe police checkpoints on your journey to wherever it is you want to go. Sometimes the vehicle you're in will break down. Yeah, you might need to change, or the way it is in Nigeria, you might need to walk the remaining way to where you're going. But you need to have your destination in mind. I think that the people that one are clear on where they want to go and are resolute are the ones that eventually get to their destination. So maybe I should start with that and let Safety Chick take over.
I like what I said. It's individuals, it's people who are clear and resolute, about their destination. Most of those times, they are the people that get there. Fantastic. So, Safety Chick, the gate has been opened into the world of this limitless ocean. So, Safety, do you want to take us further into the into the
Okay, so I
conversation
think
before I start
like you
asking my
mentioned when you were giving the introduction about the topic, it's also about not being fixated on the method of getting to this destination. It's one thing for you to be clear on your destination. It's another thing to be flexible about your methods, because you might realize that something is not working, or something is going to take longer, or maybe it's more difficult. But if you were to use another method, you will still get there. Don't now say, no, if it does not happen like this, it cannot work. Do you see? And you know why this is so key right now? Just this morning, I was listening to Pastor Koju, because every morning we have these declarations that we do because of something we're preparing for in church. And he said something very important. He said, I just put out an information some days ago on advertising a Zoom webinar session on politics and how Christians should prepare for 2023. And the idea came about during this COVID, because I have always wanted to have a politics and governance institute, an international one, but I put it off because it looked like it was too big, very expensive to manage and all that. But thanks to COVID, we have now realized that we can actually do this thing like Zoom sessions, get high-profile speakers from across the world teaching on these things, and we're still achieving the same purpose because he wants it to be international. And you see, this is him still going to his destination, but he has now been able to see that there is another way to do it. And that will not really be as, maybe if you are really waiting to maybe have a physical space, have the physical faculty on, all this sort of stuff that will maybe discourage somebody or make someone think, okay, the vision is still too far off. And so that is the method. That is how we should look at our plans, our goals, our destination. Our destination is certain. We are clear on what it is. But the things that will lead us there, we should try and be flexible, because anything can happen. Like 2020, everybody had all these grand plans of what they were going to do. But COVID came. Now, if you were not flexible in your method, you will still stay stuck in March 2020. Say, oh, because COVID happened, we could not do anything. There is no other way to do it. But if you moved, you will see that, okay, maybe we were not able to meet physically, but we were able to find other methods of still arriving at our destination. And that is why now at the end of 2020, a lot of people have still been able to somehow meet up with certain goals, or even created new goals and met with it because they were flexible about their methods. So I think that this is something that we should all bear in mind as we begin to work towards our plan for 2021. Yes, be clear on where you are going to, but know that you should be willing to adapt, be willing to be flexible about your methods of getting there. And of course, when we say you should be flexible, we're not asking you to do anything criminal. You can still be flexible on the straight path,
Thank you so much. I recall this conversation that I had with my cousin many years ago, just not too long after leaving the bank. And, we had this conversation and he saw some stuff that I've been doing. And thankfully, we were consistently in the news, in the newspapers, blah, blah, blah. And, we just had this conversation Sunday afternoon in his house. And we're saying that, well, this is what his thoughts are, that, he wants to get to structure his business to become seamless. And then from there, he probably will move to a place like Jos, set up a mini version of his business and relocate to Jos. And I'm like, what did he say? I felt he was talking trash. Like, how would you, which normal person will leave Lagos to another place in Nigeria? Which normal person? Even Abuja, how would you leave Lagos to Abuja? Okay, maybe Abuja is permitted. But Jos, how would you leave Lagos to Jos? And he told me, he said, what is that? Is there no oxygen in Jos? I said, there's oxygen. He said, that's the most important thing. The rest is quality of life. If DSTV is Jos, you want to watch TV, you want to have the world at your fingertips. All you did is internet and satellite TV. And then, of course, quality of life is more. You can live like a king there, where you're actually trying to make it or get by in Lagos. Did some analysis, and then it hit me, and I just thought about it. That do you know that it's just because we just feel it's not normal. How do you live where you've always been the most part of your life? And it's like you safety chick telling me that, Mr. Rotimi, I'm relocating to Enugu. I will fast and pray that what safety chicks say, you are relocating to. Who does Enugu help? But that's the average mindset. From that day, it changed. He said,
I said, so you are a Lagos snob.
Titi, what did you say?
You feel that Lagos is a Lagos snob.
Oh, okay.
You feel that Lagos is the best.
No, but my mindset has changed. It was many years ago. It was, in fact, I've had conversations and I've had invitations and pitch where even outside the country where I've just snubbed opportunities. I remember one of my trips and I was having a conversation and like, why not stay here? Let's and there was serious figures involved. But I just found out that there's this emotional attachment. And sometimes we justify it. Some of us who are eccentric would justify that you've not heard a word. What word is the word? People are speaking, life is speaking. God is speaking, you don't hear the word. It's sometimes that we are emotionally attached to the current vehicle. And when I look at educators, I look at teachers, I look at school owners, and when we begin to explore the world of growth, especially those who give you opportunity to share conversations that are not restricted in nature, you begin to see that most of the time, because we discovered this path on an emotional pathway, we came into our expertise from an emotional inclination. A lot of times, people do not want to even think about themselves into a new reality. How? Where? Which really is what I would like to ask Titi. How do we get to be less emotional about the vehicle that is taking us towards the destination that we all desire? how do we ensure that those strings do not get attached?
Rotimi, that's a tough question. Why did you ask this safety check?
Tough questions or safe questions for safety.
I'm not even sure I know the answer to that, because we are very much emotional beings. That's who we are. There's a saying that the more emotionally attached you are to something or someone or a situation, the less observant, the less critical, the less the less you can be, analytical. It's the way our brains are wired. So, which is why when someone is in love, the person can't see the flaws of that person. It's like your because you're so emotionally invested, your logical side of your brain just can't.
Your bandwidth gets affected.
So till you can break the emotional, and the thing about emotional sometimes is that it can last for a long time. It can last for a time. It's the emotions. It can come and go. And it's very tough. I'll be honest. It's very tough for you to break, because it depends on how far gone you are emotionally invested. That's why if a girl likes one guy, all her friends are saying something about, our friends will continue talking. There's nothing they can do till she comes to that place herself. So that's why I said it's a tough one. For some people, like I said, it depends on how emotionally invested you are. You might listen to words of reason, but usually reason doesn't get to you. So I don't answer. So maybe I will hand over to Safety Chick if she can. Maybe put some more.
No, I think you've actually answered it, because you are right. You've answered it. When you are emotionally attached to something, it takes it takes you to eventually decide that, okay, this is not working. Because if people are telling you, you will not really pay attention. So it takes yourself or something or someone higher than you. So for some Christians, it will be like maybe God. So I used to say to some people that I'm a stubborn person, and if you really want me to not do what I want to do, you go and tell God to come and tell me, because that's the only way I will not do that thing, right? But I think that it just takes someone higher. So it could be a mentor, someone you really look up to and whose counsel that you value. And it could even be yourself. Many times I want to believe that we are individuals who can tell ourselves the truth even when we don't want to hear it. So if you can tell yourself the truth, and you've heard something over and over again from different people, and then you are trying to make progress at something and it's not working or things are difficult, then you call a meeting with your own self and say, okay, what are we going to do? Once you're able to tell yourself the truth, it helps to manage the emotions, because you know that this is fact now. So let's keep emotions aside. So it makes it a bit easier. Otherwise, when you are already emotionally invested to something, it's harder. It's harder, except you call yourself to order, or something or someone higher than yourself calls you to order.
The ladies are playing safe today. I like that. Thank you so much, Titi. Thank you so much, Safety. Another thing that I
we would like an answer from you on what
you said.
We would like an answer from you as well.
I can hear you clearly.
I said
we want your own answer.
We're
listening.
Okay, I'm going to answer. So when it comes to breaking free on emotional attachments, one of the things that is highly recommended is to call a debate. Yes. So reason. So it's a game of reasoning. Superior reasoning must conquer existing reasoning, So like Safety just said, you call yourself to a meeting, but sometimes it's better. I've come to see that it's better that you subject yourself to be the audience in a debate on that same matter. So like I told you about my cousin, I was the audience, right? And I was listening to logical conversations. And of course, I had to now translate the logic into new thoughts, because you fight thoughts with thoughts, right? I mean, sorry, you fight thoughts with words, not thoughts with thoughts. And when you recognize that, you can easily translate it. So it's just like talking about a lot of educators who've listened to all we've been saying for the past few months, and then they're fired up and they're geared up. And someone is saying that, look, the possibilities that is available to them probably might require them to export their skill beyond the shores of Nigeria. Now that question comes to
Network has taken Mr. Rotimi out.
You can hear me anyway.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Since we don't know what Rotimi had in his mind, but I think the point is, a mix of all we've said, is the fact that you need people that you respect constantly talking to you. You might not listen, but I feel that when they talk to you, they can plant seeds that eventually, when it's time, when you yourself need to come to that place, because in the end, each person needs to come to that place where they realize that, okay, what people are saying, there's something in it. The glasses of emotion starts to fall down. They can begin to see a glimpse of what everyone has been saying. It's tough, but I think what I get is the fact that you as a third party will never stop, trying to help that person, because that's what happens when people are in, abusive relationship. It takes them a while. Meanwhile, people have been talking to them, but it takes a while. It takes God. It takes for all the cancer to finally break through, for them to then see what they've been saying, because there's a lot of emotion that's been in that situation. Okay, Rotimi, welcome back.
Sorry about that. The internet was resolute to disturb my conversation and thought. So you need to understand. So a lot of times it's because when you question your results and you question your desire, you need to understand is what is required that you have to give it. And while emotions govern our decisions and behavior, we must raise the level of reasoning to overshadow the emotions that we have. And most of the time, we are sentimental and emotional about the level of information or resource that we are known to. So sometimes it's a test and a preview, and then you need to begin to get your motives questioned. Get a debate on your motives, right? So, for example, I don't want to use the wrong. Let's imagine. I don't want to use the wrong illustration, but let's imagine that someone says that, you know what, I'm an early years educator. I'm an early years educator, and over a period of time, the person has been struggling to get that early years expertise or early years identity, across in the education market. And then it's getting to a point the person is feeling stifled. There's no growth, there's no result, there's no income, there's no reward. It's just like a year in, year out routine. Sometimes the problem might be that the person is not well positioned, or the person is probably not crafting something that the market requires. And because of that, the person can say, you know what, I just love this thing. I need help. Get all the coaches, get all the mentors, but still wants to stay stuck in that vehicle that is moving nowhere, right? Now, that is because of the emotional sentiments. But when we now kind of paint a better picture, the power of vision, to tell the person, look at what you're looking at, look at what you desire, and look at what will happen if you're able to get there. It begins to break the hold of sentiment. It's like someone who is in an imprisoned relationship. You tell the person, look at the bliss that you are foregoing, look at the alternative foregone, and the opportunity costs to you. And then the person begins to think about it, and it's true. Because if you think about the moment and the now, your experience from the past becomes your down payment. How do I waste? Also, what I say, all I've been doing for 4 years, is it going to go like that? Well, think about it. What you will get after 4 years is going to come like that. So people begin to think about it. It's just like leaving Nigeria. It's just like leaving Lagos. It's just like, taking another step on your expertise. Safety chief, I remember the journey started on safety consciousness, and then it's getting to a point of you're getting to the world of development, right? And so the message of discovery does not necessarily have to stick with you on the method of exploration, because discovery is the first level. At the point of getting to the depth of it, because depth is where you explore, you begin to explore further and further, and people begin to see that there is no way when you're a moving train where you will stay static on a particular milestone of your life. And in some cases, that's why identities are reborn, identities are revisited. That's why visions are redefined, visions are redesigned, and that's how to get people, whether you are a team, whether you are a company, whether you're a pioneer, whether you're a follower, whether you're an employer, whether you're an employee, it shapes your perception and it fuels you with the resolve, to make a firm decision. But your decisions must be made without sentiment, because you are destination focused. A lot of us that do things, sometimes you ask, so where's the money? Okay, where is the value? Where is the future in this? By the time you begin to ask those questions, it begins to make you ask your current situation and current state, current approach. Are you sure that we just love this, or because this is all we've known to know? And of course, the truth of the matter is all that we know is not all there is to know. So we need to begin to see such realities, right? And get away from that constriction that makes you feel message remains the same. As long as your essence remains the same, as long as your philosophy is right and remains the same, methodologies can change, because destination, result, outcome, output is what matters the most. I don't know if that's been able to help answer that question.
Yeah.
Is that Titi's voice or Safety Chick's voice?
I responded.
Yes, that's Safety Chick's
Can you
voice.
hear me?
Yeah, but I didn't hear it from
Your
Titi.
Your
Was I able to
your
ask?
professor way. Your professor way.
And
You
now I
answer
know
the question.
this is Titi. So that means it's not as simple as ABC yet.
Rotimi is fine. It's fine. Let's move on. A resolution about the destination. Back to you.
So, Titi, have you been in this kind of crossroad in recent times or in recent past?
You know about the destination?
Yes.
I think for me, I'm always trying to get clarity about the way to go. So that one of that doesn't make me fixated on the road. I'm trying to believe that you're saying that there are many roads to the market. I'm just I'm just a strong believer in that there are many roads to the market. There are many roads to get more. So maybe that makes me very flexible about the road, the vehicle, and I'm focused on the destinations. And I'm always trying to, you know, without sounding too spiritual, try to kind of seek God's face, because I've learned that this race is not to the swift, and the
So I
battle
agree.
go. So I'm always trying to find the God's way. Not necessarily easier, but more 100% to be. So I think that's me. I just have this example before. I wish this very simple example for any of these things. So I went to buy some shares, and then when I looked at this stuff, I wanted to buy lots of shares, but that's more money. That you want to feed 5,000 people, but you have only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. So I looked at all the shares that will give me a penny. There are some very cheap shares at the bottom of that. So anyway, I own shares. Maybe when I bought them, they were very ridiculous in terms of the amount. What's interesting is that in the end, the shares that I bought merged with another company whose shares was of higher value, and by the time they were done, the value of my shares went times 10. Almost anyway. And eventually I then sold it and made some money. So I've just come to realize, along the other ways, the way we can read some, where you do some activities of the company, blah 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 blah. Hey, you bought some different. So I'm usually one of clarity where I go and how I should do it. And I think everyone have their way of defining. You need to have your way for some people, it's listening to your coaches and your men, helping them guide you. In the end, be clear on the destination, be flexible about road. So you want children, you thought it would be this way. And I also give an example. Like this year, when we started with our games, we didn't know we were going to go into doing. It was one of the companies that wanted to partner with. Came said, "Oh, this is what they want," and we're like, "Oh, this sounds like a fantastic idea." It's like a fantastic idea. Wow, I mean, it's not really too different. The concept of how we requires storytelling, so it's along the line of what we're doing, and so that's how into it. And it opened so many new doors for us that we didn't recognize before. But if I had said, "Oh no, this is all we do," no, we don't do that. But even saying that, you still need to not be tossed by wind. Because don't listen to me and think I said, "Oh, you're getting here." When someone comes, "Oh, take left," you say take left. No, I'm not saying that. In the end, your destination doesn't really change. The things that are still in line with what you want to do. So I'm not saying you're in education today, then you jump into manufacturing tomorrow. No, I'm saying be sure of where you are going and be flexible on the final thing. The final thing is trying to educate children. It might be games, it might be storybooks, it might be ebooks. It could be various ways. So that's the flexibility that I'm talking about. But not that I might not go into cooking books and cooking recipes. It might be a bit far off from where I am. I'm flexible about the different things that I need to do. Even safety game is another thing. Even though I've done a bit on a bit of safety, but this year with COVID, it kind of we went in another direction. But it's all about educating. So I think what I'm just trying to say is be clear on the nation, remain focused, but be flexible. Don't do to the extent where you will lose your way and end up somewhere.
Thank you so much. That's very it's very graphical as well, you know, taking us on the pictorial journey and also seeing the realities along it. And one of the things that I want people to realize is when it comes to resolution, especially being resolute about the destination you're heading for, you must be clear that um, resolution is an invitation for you to make firm decisions about certain things. However, your destination also must be treated with a serious level of intelligence, where the type of thing that you want to become or the kind of reality of you becoming that thing profiles who you should be, profiles your pursuit, meaning that you must look at, let me say, for example, the person that Safety Chick will become, the destination she's heading to or heading for, right, is also predictively profiling who Safety Chick must become, who Safety Chick will become. You understand? And Safety Chick be, must
There's
begin.
the way one of my mentors says it. She says the person that receives a vision is different from the person that achieves it. So you
Right.
have to become in the pursuit. Yeah.
Yes. And you must learn. It's almost like saying notes from your future self, notes from
Exactly.
your future path, yourself as an individual, your path as an individual. The realities will be different. And the kind of quarrels will be different. There are many times we don't emphasize, you know, you don't emphasize certain things, you don't emphasize certain threats, you don't emphasize certain, you know, we are speakers, you know. I remember uh, amongst some of, I was involved in a project many years ago. We had to train 6,000 employees of a particular bank across the geopolitical zone. And you know, there are many times before that project kicked off, there's some things that my colleagues will share as their experience on the field. And I'll be like, man, I've never experienced this before. Until that project, you know, it was nothing like my close to my reality. But on that project, I now discovered certain things that speakers experience and face. And it was then I now told them, I said, guys, man, I've been baptized. I've now seen what you guys are talking about, right? And it's because sometimes we can be resolute eventually. We might be decisive about not being emotional about our pursuit and then getting to be very, very strong on the outcome. But then we must understand that with that decision, there's a call to intelligence. What is my future self going to look like? What is the future requiring of me? What's the future going to bring as reality of me, of the pursuit that I'm doing? You know, so I'm thinking of the reality where Nigeria Kids becomes the vision of Nigeria Kids. At that point in time, who will TT be at that time? Who will TT become at that time? What will TT be like? What will Nigeria Kids itself be like? These things are also part of the package. You know, a lot of people listening to us. So, for example, you're trying to redefine your career at this point in time. You're trying to redefine your jobs at this point in time. You're trying to redesign what you call multitasking at this point in time. Please understand, as you make your final decision based on whatever premise that there might be, you must also visualize what the demand of that destination will be on you and equally on your pursuit. Do you understand? And it's because of this, we don't sometimes sell that buying to the immediate circles that we have. And so most of the time, what you notice is as you become and as you emerge, you begin to find that the foundations of your inner circles begin to quake. And that's why, yes, sometimes people say, you are now making it. You don't have our time. Why? Because most of the time, that reality was not sold to them. It was just the vision of becoming that was sold to them. And so you are not probably also prepared for those kind of realities. So it's very important that we notice that. Chinonso is saying good morning, everyone. Thank you, Chinonso. You made it today. Thank you for joining. Um, so thank you for joining. All right. And Omobola, to thank you for saying hello. Thank you for joining us on the show. So, are there last words? We're almost rounding off right now.
Okay, so I'll just reiterate that be resolute about your destination, but don't fixate on a particular method. Be willing to be flexible.
Thank you very much. And before Titi gives our last words or parting thought, I'd like people to just help people understand. There was this, I won't call it an idiom, but like a proverb that she made, uh, she made mention of, and it's in Yoruba, but she said it in English. Hello, Titi. Could you just quickly
Okay.
explain that philosophy of not one route to the market?
Well, I think for those of us that live anywhere in Nigeria, there are plenty ways to get to. There's usually not one road to one location. You know, you can take the bridge, you can take Ikorodu Road, you can take. So I think for what you want to achieve, there isn't only one way. So for every educator that is listening out there, so let's say you want to be the head of school, and you know you're kind of sad that your own current school hasn't made you the head of school. That's not the only way. So that's really the same. There's so many other ways to do it. Or maybe you only being the head of school will help you achieve what you want to do. That might not be the only way. That's what this thing is saying. So don't be become head of school. I get more or to go to class and do class. That thing is so there are various ways to get to your eventual goal. I think my parting shot is goals. I think that's parting shot. All this we've been saying have been based on one fundamental assumption. When I talk to a lot of people, I find a lot of people are floaters. You know, people that they're just going through day by day without really a concrete long-term goal. So my goal is to make okay, how much money they go. So that means you don't have a goal. My goal is to a school. What kind of school? They don't have, you know. So I think one of the most important things it's good that conversation, getting to the end of the year. But I'm a believer you don't have to December the 1st. Start now. Have your goal for 2020 as well as the next 3 to 5 years. What is your destination? Don't have small goal that scares you. It's not but a dream. It doesn't be it. Make a destination but no plan. You don't have a map. So even though we say don't be fixated on the road, you still must have a map. Like what the chick said is that I think it was yesterday she was saying, oh, you want to achieve what this person has. Go back and look at the person's CV and look at all the things that the person has done and say, okay, maybe that where that was. So it's like a map. We fixated on that map, but at least those two things. The first map, which might change, recommend alternative. So thank you very much for me back to you.
Thank you very much. I would stick with your submission, and which really says that never feel stuck. There are options. Explore these options. Practice mindfulness of your destination. And of course, if you are in doubt, ask questions. Most of the time, change is not what you fear, is being changed. That is what you really fear. So once you adjust that mindset and you begin to debate that reality with reasoning or superior reasoning, subject yourself to trying. Give yourself a chance. You never can tell. A lot of times, a lot of people have seen so much possibilities because they gave themselves a chance. And that's the word I'll end with today. Leave the show today understanding that it's up to you. Give yourself a chance. So thank you so much. It's been a great time having conversation with you guys today, and we will be back tomorrow, Thursday, the 19th of November, 2020. Hopefully to see Safety Chick still basking in the euphoria of this Santa Claus pictorial, outfit. Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you all for joining. Thank you for the comments and contributions. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the replay. Thank you for everything.
Matches our glasses.
Yes, I told her. She truly became unlimited in her Osheness today.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thanks for
the bell of blessing for looking so beautiful today. You need to say the word, or else we won't close the show. Come on, give it to us.
Oshe.
Thank you. It's always a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a great day.
Bye. Bye.